So, we're actually going to be doing a new rule today, which is going to be co-interior angles, but I actually want us to jump somewhere before we do that. I want us to quickly go over what we have learned so far. So I'm just going to draw something up that we spoke about in the last couple of lessons. So we've got our F, we've got our U, and we have got our N. Okay, I would like to know, of these three letters that are on the board at the moment, which one you feel comfortable talking to me about. So if you feel like you can talk to me about one of these letters, put your hand up and let's chat. Pasiwa, I'd love to hear from you. Just chuck that hand up and I'll unmute you, and then you can tell me what you want to talk about. So tell me what our reasons are, what they mean. Kotso, yes, hi. Okay, which one are you going to talk to me about, Kotso? You, okay. That's the one we're going to be learning about today, so that would be great. What can you tell me about the you? Sorry? Can you tell me some? Anything you can tell me. Can you tell me anything about this you? What can you tell me about it when it comes to geometry and rules? No? Okay, that's okay. I'm going to pass on to someone else for the moment, but thank you for trying and thanks for putting up your hand. Okay, Mamelo. Yes, can you tell me about one of these letters? Tell me anything about it. Tell me its reason. Tell me its rules. Tell me something it means.
Ma'am, I choose the letter U.
Okay, cool.
The U is equal to 180 degrees because the lines are parallel.
Okay, so that's absolutely right. So I'm going to put an X over here and I'm going to put a Y over there. And so what you've said, if I have X plus Y, that's going to equal 180 degrees. Can you tell me what the reason is behind that? Like, what would I write if I was using this in an exam?
The sum of a co-interior angle is equal to 180 degrees.
Beautiful. Co-interior angles equal 180 degrees. What do we have to put after that? We have to put something important after that.
A small dot, ma'am.
Something else? Something about the parallel lines?
X is parallel to Y.
Okay, so you're on the right track. We're gonna find the lines that are parallel. So these two are lines that are parallel, and so we're gonna say AB is parallel to CD. Happy with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so Mamelo helped us with the U. Can someone help me with the F or the N? Who can help me with the F or the N? Okay, Tabang, can you help me with one of the other letters? Which one can you tell me about?
Ma'am, I'm going to tell you about F.
Okay, cool. Tell me about F.
For F, I think it's an corresponding angle.
Good.
And because the reason why I say it's a corresponding angle is because both the angle lies either both above or below the parallel lines.
Yes. What about them? What are they going to be to each other? So like if I'm looking at this angle here and this angle, what are they going to be?
They're going to be equal to 180.
Yes. Oh, no, careful. Not equal to 180. What are they going to be? Stop just before that.
They're
just going to be equal. That's all. So we're not going to put 180, but absolutely yes. So if they're above the line or they're both below the line, they're going to be equal. So basically, like if that's X, then that will be X over there. If this was Y, then that would be Y over there. Okay, so those angles would be the same as each other. They would be equal. So like X is going to equal X and Y is going to equal Y. All right. Last one we want to talk about is the N, and that was the one that we learned about on Thursday. Junior, can you help me with the letter N?
Ma'am, N is alternate angle.
Good. Alternate angles. Excellent.
And the number stay the same.
Okay, good. So they're going to be equal to each other. Perfect. Thanks,
Yep.
Junior. Awesome. So this angle in here is going to be equal to this angle in here. Okay. So we've got our F, our U, and our N. Can our reasoning be angles on a straight line? The only time we can use the reasoning angles on a straight line is if we have a line like this and we've got some other angles involved. Let's say this is 120 and this is X, and we were looking for X. We could say 120 plus X is equal to 180 because those two adjacent angles on the straight line must equal 180. Then we would say angles on a straight line. Okay, but whenever we are in a test or a math situation, or even if we're just in class and we're looking at a worksheet, as soon as we see these parallel lines, we need to think it's either going to be corresponding angles, or it's going to be co-interior angles, or it's going to be alternate angles. It's going to be one of those three. As soon as there are parallel lines involved, our brain needs to think of fun. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the U, because that's what we're going to be speaking about today. Okay, we are going to, oh, sorry, I didn't give you time for screenshots. Ooh. Okay, if you would like to have a screenshot of this, let me try and messify it a little bit. Oh, goodness, I'm just deleting everything I've written now. That's fun.
Screenshot by Pims. You guys take screenshot like this. You don't have to write down every single thing. Hey, Ogone, take a screenshot of this note. Gonna help a lot.
If you, you can also, if you rewatch these videos, if you are someone who wants to take things down, you're welcome to do that. But we recommend then you watch it afterwards because you will struggle to fit it all in this lesson. Okay, cool. I feel excited. I feel like we are doing good so far. Okay, so using your computer and phone, how do you do a screenshot with a MacBook? I think the best thing to do in that case would be to take a screen capture or a snippet. So you can use a snipping tool. I think you'll be able to do that. You could also use print screen, I think, if you're on a device. Might be easier. Yeah, good. So how can I help?
Can you take a screenshot then send us on WhatsApp? Because we can't take screenshots.
No, so I'm not able to do that. But remember, all of these lessons will be uploaded within 24 hours. So within a day, they will be uploaded and you can rewatch it and you'll be able to take anything down that you're wanting to. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Yolanda, we have not done transformation yet. We will be doing transformations and congruency and similarity and all that fun stuff next term. Okay, so we are going to be talking about that U today, and that U is the co-interior angles. Okay, let's quickly talk about what this word means. Oh, there was the highlighter. If we see the word co in something, what does that like mean? What does the word co mean? Think about it in other words, like in English. What does co mean? What do you think it means? Who thinks they've got some suggestions? I don't mind if they're completely wrong. Tell me what you think that word could mean when we just have the word co. Okay, so we've got a suggestion of inside, semi-important partners, work together. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, so think of like a co-worker. That's great. Okay. Okay. Think of some other words for me that you think could be working here. Copy. Similar. All right. All right. No wrong
Some
answers
nice suggestion, you know? You guys are doing great.
Keep them coming. Keep your suggestions coming through. Co means corresponding. So in this case, co doesn't mean corresponding. So if we write the word corresp, then corresp will mean corresponding. Okay, we've got work together, cooperate. Great. So I'm going to write some of these words that you guys have thought about. Cooperate, co-workers.
Those are some nice names, guys.
You're doing good. Joint it together. Okay, so yeah, so we're getting there. Okay, so the co in all of these words, it means that, so if you think about co-workers, if you think of people working together, they are together. Okay, so it's whenever you have something like there's something common or there's something mutual, but it's more than one person working together, if you think about it. Okay, if you cooperate, you are working with someone to get something done. Katiwe, yes, how can I help?
I was trying to answer the question, but yeah.
Were you wanting to give a suggestion of what the word co could mean?
Yes.
Sure. What would you like to add?
I think co-assistance like is I'm not usually doing this, but co-assistance occurs in between two parallel lines.
Yes. Okay. So absolutely. When it comes to things like co-interior, we're definitely going to be looking at those things with parallel lines. At the moment, we're just trying to understand what the word co-interior means, just from like an English perspective. But absolutely, what you're saying is great. Okay. So far we know that the co is telling us that it's going to be like a working together, or like something together, something co-produced, co-established. Exactly. Okay. Now we're going to focus on this word over here. We're going to focus on that word interior. What does the word interior mean? Think about this. Like if you just think, what does it mean? Inside. Great. Okay, good. Okay, so when we're thinking about the words co-interior, it's meaning we've got two things, because they are cooperating, they are working together. We've got two things that are inside. All right, so we've got two angles that are inside our parallel lines. They are co-interior angles. They are both inside angles. That is what co-interior means. Okay, it's just a fancy word for saying there are two of them and they are in the inside. All right, so if we have a look here, we've got these two parallel lines over here. If you look at those parallel lines, can someone give me a pair? So I want two letters, a pair of co-interior angles. A Sunday, yes. Please, can you give me a pair of co-interior angles?
I think it's DZ.
Good. So D plus Z, they are co-interior. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay. Retta, can you help me give me another pair?
C and W.
Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. 100%. So both of those, oh, sorry, Alwande, I didn't mean to unmute you there. Sorry about that, sweetheart. So these two are both pairs that are co-interior, okay? They are working together and they are on the inside of those parallel lines. All right. And when we have co-interior angles, so I'm going to make some co-interior angles over here. I'm going to make that an X and I'm going to make that a Y. So these are my parallel lines. And so my working together inside angles would be X and Y. And when we add up those angles, so far on our F and our N that we have done so far, the angles are equal to each other. But a co-interior angle is not equal to each other. It's equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so here, this X plus this Y is going to equal 180 degrees. And the reason we are going to use, when we use this, is we are going to say co-interior angles equal 180 degrees. And then we're going to say which lines are parallel. So AB is parallel to CD. Whenever we use this rule, that is what we are going to write. We are going to say co-interior angles equal 180 degrees, AB parallel CD. Now, if you are in class and your teacher wants you to write the sum of the co-interior angles, absolutely fine. Please feel free to write that. I want you to write whatever your teacher has asked you to write. But this is also absolutely fine. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about what they are currently seeing on the board or something that they feel uncertain about, this is your time to ask. Tabang, yes, how can I help?
Ma'am, the only problem that I have with geometry is that I don't understand how you get your reasons from
Okay. Yeah,
from
to know which one to use when?
yes, because
Okay.
sometimes I get
Yeah.
confused when the teacher starts writing angles on a straight line, and then like I don't know where's the line, the straight line, because it could be crossing over and like.
Okay. So I think the thing is, it's always it can be definitely confusing. Try and think about it like this. So we're not going to go into huge detail on this now, but if you watch our previous lessons that were in the last course, I think it will be helpful to you. Think about it like this. Oh goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna give you some guidance over here. And let's do this, and let's do this, and let's do this. Okay. So we're going to do small little things over here. This will help everyone with their geometry and will help you later, so don't panic. Okay. What we're looking at this first one is we're looking at a situation. I'm going to put an X over here. I'm going to put a Y over here. And let's leave it like that for the moment. Okay. If I was looking at this X and this Y over here, okay, let's get a highlight out to help us. This line over here is a straight line. We always know it's a straight line. If you take your ruler and you put it on a line and that line is the same as your ruler, so it's straight, it is a straight line, okay? Whenever we have a straight line, whatever angles are next to each other on that straight line would be equal to 180 degrees, okay? So for example, this is also a straight line over here, but there isn't anything on it in order for us to add together, so we wouldn't be able to use anything. If we have an arm, so this guy over here, that's called an arm. If we have an arm that comes off on a straight line and it creates these two adjacent angles, okay? And now I know you all know because I've asked you a million times, what is adjacent a fancy word for? What does adjacent mean? What is it a fancy way of saying? Help me out in the chat here. What is adjacent a fancy word for? Not opposite? Nope. Nope. Kind of like join, but yes, Tristan, Unati,
Well
yes,
done.
okay.
Well done, Tristan.
Good. Adjacent is just a fancy word for next to, okay? So as soon as we have angles that are next to each other and we've got this arm in between them, if we added them together, then we would get 180 degrees. And it's because it's on a straight line. And so we would say angles on a straight line. So the reason that we put is because of the logic that we had to use. We had to say, if we added those two angles together, we would get 180 degrees. And we know that because they are on a straight line. That means I'm going to use this reason. Okay. If I'm looking at this triangle, when we have a triangle, we've got two main reasons that come from a triangle. If I had X, Y, and Z over here, okay? So I was wanting, what's the word under next to? It's adjacent. Adjacent. Okay. If I was wanting to work out these letters in here, so I've got an X, a Y, and a Z, they are all inside a triangle. What would they all add up to? If I had X plus Y plus Z, what would those all equal? Pavi, yes. Tell me what those would all equal.
Ma'am, they would all equal to 180.
180, yes, good. And what reason would I use,
Well
Pavi,
done.
in this situation?
Sum of angles inside a triangle.
Good, perfect. Sum of
Well
angles
done.
in a
Nailed
triangle.
it.
Okay, so Tabang, this one's a perfect situation. It's exactly what we're doing, okay? We're summing, we're adding all of the angles in our triangle. Okay, let's have a look at this one. When you see that, what does our brain jump to? What are we going to look for when we see this X? We see this bow tie. Tembi, can you help me?
It's gonna be vertically opposite.
Yes, good. When
Yeah.
we see this X shape, our brain must think bow tie, which must think vertically opposite. Perfect,
Well
Tenny,
done.
thank you. So those ones would be vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay. Then we've got this guy, this triangle. Okay. We're not going to use a sum of angles in a triangle. We've got a clue here that's helping us. We've got these little lines that are chilling there that should be telling us to be looking for something. What are those lines telling us to look for? What rule? Numfundo, can you help me? Oh, sorry, Numfundo. What are those lines telling me about this triangle? No? Oh, I think I must have lost you there. Likona, can you help me out here?
Likona, are you there?
I feel like we're losing people. There we go,
Hi,
Likona. Hi. Okay. What are those
I-
lines telling us?
I think it's isosceles.
Good, good. Exactly. Those lines are telling us that those are the same as each other, which means it's an isosceles triangle. Okay. And if it's an isosceles triangle, that means that this angle here is equal to that angle there. So the rule we'll use here is we'll say angles opposite equal sides. Okay. So that's telling us that the angles that are opposite the equal sides are equal to each other. Okay, then there's also angles around a point. Let's quickly pop that in since we've done the rest of them anyway. Let's do it like this. So we've got X, Y, Z. Let's call this A. If I added all of those together, what am I going to get? And what would my reason be? So A plus, oh, why am I writing W? I'm crazy. A plus X plus Y plus Z. What is that going to equal? Ayanda, what are all of those going to equal and what would my reason be?
Ma'am, are they not going to equal 180?
They're not going to equal 180. X plus Y would equal 180 and A plus Z would equal 180. But what would all four of them equal?
360, ma'am.
360. Good. Do you remember the reason?
Yes, ma'am. Angles are on the point.
Beautiful. Angles around a point. 100%.
Ma'am, I have a question before you
Sure.
unmute me, ma'am.
Ask away.
Ma'am, for the X, ma'am, isn't it vertical opposite angles, ma'am? When you add them together, isn't it supposed to give you 360 angles around the points, ma'am?
Yeah, if I added all of those together, I would definitely get 360.
So, ma'am, we can say it's angles around the points and vertically opposite angles.
It depends on how you're using it. So if you were wanting to find these two angles, you would be using vertically opposite angles. But if you were only looking for one other angle, then you would use angles around a point. So when you're using the idea that it's a bow tie, then you use vertically opposite angles.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Okay, so hopefully this helped a little bit. Hopefully this helped everyone a little bit. This is just kind of a summary of the geometry that we've done up until this point. And so I know that the rules can sometimes feel intimidating and scary, but the rules are just explaining the logic that you've used. So don't think of them independently. Think about what logic did I use? If I'm looking at this triangle over here, I know that X plus Y plus Z is equal to 180 degrees because I know a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. And so that's exactly what our reason is saying. Our reason is saying, if we add all the angles in a triangle, we're going to get 180 degrees. So just try and bring the idea of reasons together with your idea of logic. And then I think you will find them a little bit easier. Hopefully that helped. We're going to zoom back into some co-interior angles now though. Okay, so let's do our first example. I'm going to do this one with you. So I'm going to talk you through this one and then I'll let you work through one by yourselves. Okay. If we're having a look at this question, we've got this line and this line that is parallel. And then we've got this line that's joining them. And so we're getting our U shape. And so now we must be thinking, remember at the top of our test or our exam, we're going to write the word fun. We're going to know that the F is corresp. We're going to write the U is co-int and the N is alt. Can I take a screenshot? Yes, you absolutely can. Let me as soon as we finish this question, I'll pop back up to that one to take a screenshot. Okay, I promise. And if I don't, remind me, because it just means I forgot. Okay. So we're going to look at this. We're going to say, okay, well, we see a U, and a U means co-interior angles. And we now know that the word co-interior means that there are two things working together and that there are inside angles. Okay, so we can say, cool, we're brain buffs. We know that this angle here plus this angle here must be equal to 180 degrees. And so we're going to write that. We're going to say 3x. I'm just going to write this on the lower line so I can do something for you. 3x plus 20 is plus 2x plus 10 is equal to 180 degrees. So this is my one angle. We're adding our other angle. So those are our co-interior angles. And we are saying that they are equal to 180 degrees. Okay. So our reason that we're going to write here is we are going to say co-int angles equal 180, and then we're going to say which lines are parallel. So we're going to say AB is parallel to DE. We have to say which lines are parallel. Okay, now we've just got an equation. So those of you who love algebra, this is your time to shine. It's all the stuff that you love here. We're going to add the things that are the same. So we're going to add our x's together. And then we are going to add our constants together. So we are adding our like terms, okay? So 3x plus 2x. Oh, sorry, guys. Don't know what happened there. Went on a bit of a journey. The 3x plus the 2x, that's going to give us 5x. And 20 plus 10 is going to give us 30. And that's equal to 180. Now we're trying to isolate that 5x. So now we're going to move the 30 over, and when he jumps over the equal sign, his sign is going to change. So 5x is equal to 180 minus 30, which means 5x is equal to 150. Now I want x to be alone by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I'm going to see that x is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, and if we're in a test situation, if we're looking at marks here, we would be getting 1 mark for our first statement, 1 mark for our reason, as long as our reason is correct, and then we'd probably only get 1 mark here for our answer. You might be lucky and get a mark somewhere in there. Tabang, well done, nice job. Now, lady, sweetheart, how can I help?
Ma'am, is that not an if? I was confused when you put the U in the fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so it is an if, and this is why we have to start thinking really cleverly now, because you're right, it is an if. The problem is that when we're dealing with an if, we would be looking at the angles underneath those parallel lines. So we would be looking at this angle and this angle. And so in this case, the if wouldn't help us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so we have to look at it and we have to say, because often you're going to see all of them. You might see a F, a U, and an N all in the same question. And so you have to think, which one of these letters is going to help me with what I'm doing? Okay. All right. If you'd like a photo of this question, please take one. And then I'm going to zoom up to the previous thing that we wrote. And then I'm going to give you a question to try by yourselves.
I'm to shine. I can screenshot my them. That lady already tease me about it on the chat. Take screenshot my pebs.
Okay. Yeah. Cleopatra, how can I help?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask if it was a different sign. If, let's say, one of it was minus, what can we do? Because
you would write what it is. So let's say this was 2x minus 10. Then instead of a plus, you would write a minus.
Yes.
So whatever is in there, you write what that's there.
When you calculate, is it the same?
No, yeah.
Ma'am, I mean, like, when you calculate, do you minus the other term?
Yes. So if that had been a minus, then I would have said 20 minus 10. And so that wouldn't be 30, it would be 10. And then that 10 would move over. So then I would minus the 10. So then it would change.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you, ma'am.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Sure. No, we definitely have a brain break today. Don't you panic. I promise. Oh, we're already brain break time. It's crazy. Okay, let me quickly zoom up to this so you can take a screenshot if you wanted one. It's very messy, but maybe it will help. So Sia, in that question, we could only do co-interior because the angles were inside. So the interior is telling us that they are inside. And because they are inside, we had to do co-interior. But if our angles were in the F, so if they were both below the parallel lines, then we would be doing corresponding. So it just depends on what we're looking at. Yeah, Asande, how can I help?
Oh, ma'am, my question is, in a test or an exam, how many marks would this question count?
So depending on your school, I would say between 3 and 4.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Otapeng, yes. How can I help?
Afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
How are you?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. Ma'am, when our angles are vertical opposite, what is our equal sign going to be?
So, okay, so let's say this was X and let's say this was 120. We would say X is equal to 120 because of vertically opposite angles. So we would just say we don't have another thing involved.
Okay, so it always goes according to the number that's there.
So whatever angle is there will always be equal to whatever angle is there.
Okay, ma'am.
When you say 5x plus 30, how did you get the 180? Okay, so this 180 came from our rule of co-interior angles. Whenever we have co-interior angles, whenever we have these two angles that are both in between our parallel lines, okay, this angle plus this angle, when we add them together, it's always going to be 180. Always, every time. And so that's where that 180 is coming from. Okay, last question, and then we're going to go into our brain break.
Yep.
Naledi, how can I help?
Ma'am, with Otapeng, you said that it's vertically opposite angles. So if they only give you X and then the 120 and then not the other angles, how do you calculate the other angles?
So then you would have to look at, like here, you would say this is a straight line. And so then you could say that this would be 60 because of angles on a straight line. And then this would also be 60 because of vertically opposite angles.
Ma'am, how do we get the 60?
Because, so let's say the 60 was Y. Okay, so let's just make that a Y, for example. Let's get rid of that 60. These two angles are adjacent. So they are next to each other on a straight line. And so angles that are next to each other on a straight line, they always equal 180.
And the 120 is going to give me 180.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Okay, we are going to quickly go down to our brain break. Kira, I wish I was your teacher as well. Oh, goodness, I'm jumping. You almost saw our questions. Okay, so we've got 3 brain breaks today. One of them is easier than the other. So we're going to start with the easiest one, and then we're going to move on to the second easiest one, and then we're going to move on to the spicy one. And we're going to see what we have.
Yeah, it's our Brian. Guys, I told our new ladies that we call brain break our Brian break because you guys named it.
Yep, he's named Brian the Brain. Okay, so first one we have, basically it's a code. You're trying to break into this bank. Okay, so if you are trying to break into this bank, I need to know what these 2 question marks are. So I need both numbers. Put them in the chat for me because it'll be quicker. Oh my goodness, Tristan. Tristan is too fast. Noma, right there, Reka. Jeez, like, okay, yes. You guys broke into the bank. You are officially bank robbers. Well done. Okay. The first question mark was a 1. The second question mark was a 4. So the 7s were there to throw you off, but it was just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Yes, see, but that was so fast.
That was so fast.
Figure it out.
This was the easiest one. Now we're going to go on to the semi-easy one, and then we're going to go into the spicy one. I just wanted to warm you up slowly. Okay. But some of you guys were just far too smart there, and you got that in about 10 seconds, which is crazy. Okay. Let's go to our second one.
Shanika, you'll get there. It will become easy time.
These 2 question marks. I need to know what they are.
It's getting spicy.
Nope. Nope. Oh, I think I saw them. Rex has got it as well. I think someone got there before you though. Kutso, yes. Look at you, brave love. Oh, Kutso, trust your first instinct. Your first instinct was right.
Is Kutso changing the numbers now?
Yeah. Karen got it right as well. Okay, nice. Okay, so for this one, so if you got the answers 1 and 2, if you would like to explain to everyone how you got them, if you don't mind putting your hand up for me, and then I'll unmute you and you can tell us how you got your answers of 1 and 2. So if you have the answers of 1 and 2 and you feel comfortable, let's see. Retta, yes. Tell me how you got the answers 1 and 2.
So I just looked at the difference between all these numbers. Like, for example, 4 and 1, the difference is 3. 3 and 0, the difference is 3. And then I just minus 3 from 4 and 5.
Perfect. Yes. Nice job.
Well
Guys,
done.
remember with maths, half the battle of maths is finding patterns. So if you can find patterns in this, you are solid. Nice. Okay, one more. Now this is the spicy one. This is what I'm excited about. Let's see how you go. I will be so chuffed if you guys figure this one out. I'll be so proud of you. And remember, you have to be able to explain your answer.
Someone says Brain X has left the chat. I'm like, what?
Okay, so I can confirm that the right answer has come into the chat. So some of you have got the right answer. I just don't want to give it away just yet. Oh, Tamila, I'm not going to tell you. But I can assure you that some of you have it right. And some of you have it wrong.
Likona can give us an explanation. Likona, what's your answer, girl? Likona is like, I'm disappearing, ma'am.
Tamila, what are you doing there? Just like zooming me with 4s. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to suffer, and then I'm going to take you out of your misery here. I feel like we're going further away from the right answer, though. Oh. Okay, I can confirm that if you've said 3 or 4, you are incorrect.
But we don't ask, what if they guess the answer?
You can guess it. You can guess it. But, I mean, it would be cool if you could figure it out. I feel like there's some more people getting to the right answer now. If you have the answers 7 and 8, you are incorrect. The 5 is incorrect. Come on, Kira. You can do this, man.
Guys, the answer's already given to you. 3, 4, 7, 8, 5 is incorrect. So what are we left with, my babes?
Okay, let's go through it. Shaden, let's see. Shaden, are you confident? Where did Shaden go? Shaden, I thought you were confident with your answer here. There we go.
There, he's back.
Shaden, do you have an answer for it?
I don't know. No, I actually pressed that button by mistake because I wanted to put the answer that I thought it is in the chat.
What do you think it is?
Is it 2, ma'am?
It's not 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Let's see. Tato, can you help us out? What number is it? Where did Tato go? I unmuted him.
I think that's a
I'm sorry,
disappearance.
ma'am. I just don't know.
Oh, you just don't know. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, sorry, Yolanda, I think I muted you there by mistake. I was trying to mute Tato.
You have the power.
Yeah. Rodwin, can you tell me what number you think it is?
9.
It is not 9. It is not 9. No. Tatenda.
Ma'am, is it 6?
It is 6. Can you tell me why?
Because it's the only number that's not there.
No. That is not the reason why.
That's what I was thinking of, ma'am.
Ah, you silly banana. Okay, it is 6 though, so he's luckily gotten it right. But the easiest thing here was all we had to do was we had to add these together. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and then we're going to times that by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 0 plus 8 is 8 times 2, 16. That's all.
Hey, they made a mistake though, because 0 times 8 is 0. You cannot
No,
say
0 plus 8.
Oh.
No mistake. Okay, let's quickly zoom through these, and then we're going to go back into some maths again. Zama, yes.
Sorry, ma'am. Okay, no, never mind. Because I had the exact same thing that she was just explaining.
Okay.
It's fine.
But you'd figured it out.
I figured it out
Nice.
a long time ago.
Good on you, Zama. Nice, nice. Excellent. Okay. Shaden, was your hand still up? Is this from long ago? I think it might have been. I don't think you put your hand down. I'm just going to put your hand down for you. Never again. Do you want to go back to riddles? I thought this one was cool. It's something different.
I really thought that it was so cool. I like
Kira, you got it though. Kira, I don't know why he's stressing. Okay, can you all please do this question for me? I would like the answers for A and I would like the answers for B. Remember, when we do geometry, whenever you give a statement, you give your reason. So nice and slow. You'll never rob a bank. No, don't be silly, Kira. You could rob a bank tomorrow. You got it so quickly. Think positively. All of your bank robbing possibilities.
In that situation, it's actually a good thing that you will never rob a bank. It's a good thing.
No, lady, your brain cells are definitely still present. No, Ayanda, positive thinking. Look for what you can see. Look for your letters. Remember the 3 letters that we think about when we see parallel lines. We think about the F, which is corresponding. We think about the U, which is co-interior, and we think about the N, which is alternate. Those are the 3 letters we think about.
My pips can do this. Let's go, guys. Let's see answers on the chat.
Belinda, I don't mind as long as I get like a percentage of this. So, you know, like if you rob the bank, if I get 25%, then I'm happy. You don't stress.
If you go to jail, just take your dad with you.
No. I didn't
dad.
rob the bank. I just get the money. I don't have to rob the bank. Numfundo, yes, sweetheart, how can I help? Oh, I've lost you. Then your hand went down. No, don't panic, Spoo. Just think about it one step at a time. I'm going to highlight some things for you that might make things a little bit easier. So first, look for that. Yeah, Numfundo, how can I help?
3a plus a is equal to 180. Reason co-interior angles.
That's great. Okay, so let's write that down. So we're going to say 3a plus a is equal to 180 degrees. And our reason is going to be co-interior angles. What do we need to say after we write co-interior angles?
Then we'll add 3a plus a is equal to 4a.
But wait, slow down, sweetheart. What do we have to write over here? We have something that's missing over there that we have to put there. Ooh, if we don't put it there, they won't give us the mark if we don't put it there. We have to put something there.
Bracket.
Nomfundo, I'm gonna pass the mic on to one of someone else in the class to try and help you out here a little bit, see if they can get us to where we need to be. Atandiwe, can you tell me what I need to put in this box that I have created?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I should put BC is parallel to DE.
Beautiful. I have to put my parallel lines. If we don't put those parallel lines, we don't get the mark. Okay. All right. While you're on the line, can you help me with what my next line would look like? I've lost it, Ndiwe. Let's go on to Kira. Kira, can you finish this one off for me?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
It's going to be 4A equals 180.
Mm-hmm.
And then A equals, and then it divide by 4, and then A equals 45.
Nice. Okay. Beautiful. A is equal to 45, hundreds. Okay. So far, so good. We've got 3 marks at this point. So we are looking good. We are looking great. Let's try and find, now we know that this is 45 degrees. Now we're trying to find B. We're trying to find B at this point. Okay. Lindiwe, I don't think I've heard, oh, no, your hand came down. I think people lost confidence. Zwelakhe, can you help me find B? What would I do to find B here?
Ma'am, that's not what I raised my hand for.
Oh, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, how did you get 4?
How did I get the 4A?
Yes, ma'am.
So I took this 3A and then I added another 1A and that gave me the 4A.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Ayanda, can you help me find B?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, so I have 2 methods, ma'am, but I don't know which one is right. Not 2 methods, 2 ways of getting the answer, but I don't know which one is right.
Okay, well, what were the reasons with your 2 different ways?
Ma'am, I got angles on a straight line and then I got corresponding because I got 2 different answers, ma'am.
Okay, so if we had used both of those rules are totally fine, but we should have gotten the same answer. So something went wrong somewhere. So talk me through the angles on a straight line.
I thought, ma'am.
So you said you used angles on a straight line, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what did you do when you used that rule?
Ma'am, I said B plus 45 is equal to 180 and it goes on a straight line.
Perfect. Okay.
Nice. Keep quiet. And then I say B is equal to 180 minus 45.
Good. That's right.
And then B is equal to 135.
That's perfect. That was great. Totally great. Totally great. Perfect. 100%. I love how you told off your family in the middle. I had to contain my laughter. Okay, so angles on a straight line, we could definitely do. Shanika, I got the 4, so I had 3A plus 1A, which gave me 4A. Whenever we have a letter which doesn't have a number next to it, so like if I have 2x plus x, that x means 1x. So I definitely always have to add that 1. I can't just ignore that 1. Okay, then the other thing that was brought up there was I could also have done corresponding angles. So if I had looked here, so if you did angles on a straight line, that's great. If you did corresponding angles, you've got this F shape over here. And so this angle would be equal to that angle. Okay, so we could have also said 3A is equal to B because of corresponding angles being equal when BC is parallel to DE. This is an OR situation, guys. You didn't need to do both of these, okay? And so then 3A, we know that, we know that A is equal to 45 degrees. So we could say 3 times 45 is equal to B, which means B is 135 degrees. Okay, but all of those are fine. So the way that this would have worked with marks, you would have gotten 1 for your statement here, 1 for your reason if you have the correct parallel lines, 1 for your answer, 1 for your next statement, 1 for your next reason, 1 for your answer. Okay. If you have questions about what you're currently seeing, I'm happy to answer, but it'll be easier if you pop them in the chat for us, just so that we can see. Oh, Imanati, sorry, not everyone gets a chance every time. There's just too many hands. I try and spread the love a little bit as best I can. Fragile, how can I help? You just need to unmute on your side, sweetheart. Okay. Shaden, do you have a question?
Ma'am, I'm a bit confused with this corresponding angles because from what I know, the one angle equals to the other angle, if I'm right.
That's right, that's right. So this angle here, this 3A, is going to equal that B.
Yeah. So doesn't B become 3A?
Yeah, it does. It's the same thing. And that A, we worked out the A to be 45. So we're saying 3 times 45, that is B. So this step here, this is saying exactly what you're saying. So you're saying the B becomes 3A, which it absolutely does. And so we're just trying to work out what that 3A is equal to.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Oh my gosh, I just saw this poll pop up and I was like, why is the poll here? We have like, we just started. Okay.
Guys, sorry. I felt like, you only have 1 minute left.
Give me some warning next time. I like had a panic moment. Can you add the angles if one was squared? Yeah, you can add the angles if one was squared. That would be fine. No, Imanati, you only have a quiz on Thursdays. So quizzes always on Thursdays, no quizzes on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is your day off. The 4A came from saying the 3A plus the 1A, those two together equaled the 4A. That's where that 4A came from. But remember, guys, you can always rewatch this lesson.